Hi there, and welcome back to the Lisa Nichols Show, where I share with you the things that you need, I need, we want, so that we can have the life that we deserve. We have the life that we know that we will be happy with. Today, this place, this episode is all about giving you those wonderful tips, ahas, mindset, and awareness. You know, one of the things I love about this community is that you guys are talking and you're buzzing and you're always commenting back, and oh my God, I love some of the comments. Hadassah, your comment was everything to me. You started first with hashtag BOL. For all you newbies, that means breakthrough out loud. That's when something really feels good. You said, I need to keep building a relationship with myself. Absolutely, Hadassah. We think that who we are is always the same person. No, you evolve. Like who you are today is not who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. There's so many lessons. There's so much awareness. There's some lessons that came that you love and some lessons that came that just hurt, but you still got the lesson. So as you continue to discover you, I think that's one of the best things. I was at an event last night and someone said, what does freedom mean to you, Lisa? I said, freedom means permission to constantly discover and rediscover the woman that I am and the woman that I'm becoming. The last thing you want to do is respond to a 2017, a 2018, a 2020 problem with a 1995 solution. So I love it. I love it, Hadassah. I love this next one. It comes from a beautiful name, Inspiration and Discovery. The quote that you love is, it's not in spite of my past, but because of my past that I am successful. Absolutely. When you understand that it's not in spite of what's happened in your life that you get to be successful or brilliant or beautiful, but that is because all of a sudden you stop standing in the story and you start standing on the story. You know, a lot of times people ask me, how do I keep going in the midst of something, which is the same thing as how do I avoid shutting down? Oftentimes we shut down when we feel like we can't influence the outcome and we go right into the shell. Shutting down is not a stated desire of what you want to do. Shutting down is avoiding what you don't want to happen. And if you shut down, nothing can happen. The challenge with that is that when you shut down, nothing can happen. So the solution is as far away from you as the challenge can be if you did move. So when you feel yourself wanting to shut down, just ask why. Why do I want to shut down? What is it that I want to achieve or want to avoid? And then I guarantee you, if you just walk into it, and you know, this is a grown-up experience, by the way. This conversation is not for minors. This is not a minor league conversation. So when things happen, you naturally want to retreat or freeze or react. Neither one is powerful. You don't want to freeze because then nothing happens, and sometimes you unconsciously stay frozen. Just check in with yourself right now as I'm saying this. Have you ever stopped and if you look back on it, or if you look at it right now, you've been frozen, metaphorically, for 1 week, 6 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, frozen. Now you're in movement, but you're not in movement. Like that's the challenge of freezing, is that you might not thaw yourself out and you stay frozen. The other side to that is that when something disturbing or challenging happens and you react, one of those, that was the thing that I had to, I never froze, I reacted. And I said past tense because I had to manage that. If I wanted the life that I say I wanted, then I had to move from reaction to response. So if you want the life you say you want, you can't freeze, you might pause. So press pause, but don't press stop. I always say when you're climbing up the mountain, sometimes it gets so hard or something occurs that you can't climb anymore. Stop. Sit down on the side of the mountain, catch your breath, and then get back up, because the mountain is still there and the mountain top still belongs to you. By the same token, when something happens and catches you off guard or disrupts your joy, Move away from reacting, because reacting is giving your power away. I'm so clear that you don't get to say anymore, I didn't want to cuss her out. I didn't want to walk away. I didn't want to hang up in your face. I didn't want to do XYZ, but you made me. Oh, really? You just bagged up, packaged up your power, put a bow on it, and handed it to me, and then got mad at me because you gave me your power? Please keep your power and be responsible for what you say, what you think, and what you do by moving from reaction to response. That way you're always in the driver's seat of your life. Don't let me drive. Don't let him drive. Don't let her drive and then try to dictate where we're taking you. Ooh, I know I probably stepped on your toe. Sit Indian style, because I ain't gonna stop. So when you look at it, you have to constantly, and I know it's a grown-up conversation. It's a big girl conversation. It's a big boy conversation. You have to constantly look at every single action I take has a result. Everything. There's always a domino in front of the domino in front of the domino in front of the domino called your life. And you can't push one domino down and expect it not to topple all the other ones down. So be responsible on which way I want my dominoes to fall, because that guides how long you stay still and how you respond or react. Now, I'm human, and I've had some things that have devastated me. I think one of the biggest things that devastated me in the recent years, I came home from a trip to New York. I cried on the plane all the way home. I couldn't believe that people in the world could be so disingenuous and conniving and just out of integrity and sneaky and deceitful. And more than that, I couldn't believe that I'd been deceived. And this was in business, which I have the pleasure of. My business has been pretty much like in a cocoon of greatness and wonder with its challenges, but no violation. And I had been violated. My business had been violated. My name had been violated. And I had tears falling down my face all the way home. And I sucked it up. I don't want my son to see me crying, as a mom, as a parent. I don't want him to see. And my son and I are very close, very, very close. And he's watched me through a lot. And as soon as I got to the house, I kind of went up to my room quickly to try to get in the mirror and make sure my eyes weren't bloodshot red. And my son walked in and he said, "So Mom, how was your trip?" And I tried to muster up the most, energy possible to lie. I said, "Fine." And like any loved one, he saw my eyes and he said, "You're not fine, Mom, I could tell." And I broke into tears. I burst into tears. I didn't cry, I wailed. I don't recall the last time I cried like that. And never have I ever in front of my child. And my son picked me up and laid me in bed. And he said, "Mommy, don't get up until you feel better, until you feel like it. I'll bring you whatever you need." And he brought me dinner that night. He bought me breakfast the next morning. He bought me lunch the next afternoon because I stayed in bed. He bought me dinner that night because I still didn't get out. He bought me breakfast the next morning because I didn't get up. He bought me lunch the next day. I had to sit down on the side of my mountain for 28 hours. Catch my breath. Talk myself out of reacting 1,000 times. But in the 29th hour, I was ready to get up. I got up. I didn't spring up. I didn't bounce up. I staggered up. I caught my breath and I began to strategize. A year and a half later, it's cost me just under $1 million to clean it up. It cost me time, energy. It cost me effort to regain my trust in people. It cost me moving past shame. But I got up. And now I get to, for the first time ever, tell the story. Because I couldn't even put words to it. So, you may get knocked down. You may pause. You may be stilled. You may have your breath taken away from you. But you will never have your future joy, peace, success, happiness taken away from you, because it's no one else's to take from you. Though you might have to fight to get back to it. And just know that in that journey back to joy, peace, love, happiness, service, trust, you're never, ever alone. Remember, this show is not just a monologue. It's not just me talking to you. This show is and will always be a dialogue. I would love to hear from you. We spend hours combing through your comments. What's the biggest lesson that you learned from this conversation, this episode? Not necessarily the easiest episode for me to even share with you, but a necessary episode. Leave me comments below. When was there a time when you had to tap into forgiveness, or you sat down and had to get back up? Tell me right now if you're sitting down from something and that this episode inspired you possibly to get back up. Let me know if you're moving from reaction to responding, or when have you responded and you needed to respond, or when have you reacted and you realized, I probably would have got a better outcome had I responded. Listen, be sure you subscribe. This content is always this juicy, and we're always here to serve you up, and there's always a group of people waiting to embrace you. Look for more amazing content in the future, because this is and will always be your home, and we are, yes, your tribe, and I am your sister in prosperity and in possibility. And when I say that I believe in you and that I love you, it's because I do. I always have and always will. And I know that sounds weird, because we may not have physically met, but the divinity in me, the God in me, loves the God in you. That's easy and that's effortless. I'm looking forward to seeing you again real soon. Peace out.